Hey guys, my name is Adam and I'm from Exterra Veritas. I'm doing this small video because of what we do at Exterra Veritas. People pose certain questions to me with regards to cigar storage. So in this small video, I want to have a small discussion where I give my input on how cigars should be maintained, because that's essentially what we're all aiming for, the perfect oily smoke. When anything is a natural produce, you might have heard of the term aging applying to cheeses, to certain meats, and to anything that's a natural produce, and it's given the time to biodegrade itself, like degrade over time at its own rate, or at a slower rate, then causes for flavor profiles to repair on the produce that weren't present before. Same applies with cigars. So let's look at the physicality of the cigar, right? So this is the head of the cigar, the shoulder, this is the cap that we normally cut, this is the foot of the cigar, right? So when it comes to the right temperature and humidity, how to store them, we are losing humidity and temperature through 2 points of the cigar. Through the binder leaf, how much of the binder leaf is used. This is a very thin binder leaf, so any moisture and humidity, it's going to be a very small barrier. The binder leaf is essentially a barrier to protect the filler leaf, which is where the combustion and obviously the flame is, right? And the flavor. So what are we all aiming for? There's moisture. The most densest point within the cigar is the central point in the middle, running down the cigar, the length of it. That is where all the oil is and all the humidity is. As we move away from the central point, we're going to look at this in a slight engineering point of view, right? So as the humidity moves away from the center of the cigar to the exterior binder leaf, this humidity gets absorbed by the filler leaves, and then obviously this foot here is open to the air outside and essentially will start to dry out to here. What this does is the most humid point at the top of the cigar is then drawn in like a funnel type system of humidity through the end and a certain amount through the binder leaf. By having the correct temperature and humidity around the space, we control the water content that's essentially within the air that's around the cigar and anything that has contact with the cigar, to ensure that we maintain the right amount of humidity and temperature to keep the process of the aging consistent and also steady, continuous. The change of process that occurs when the humidity and essentially the flavor profile moves from the center point and stratifies out equally across the filler leaves, it ensures a full flavor profile from the start of the cigar all the way to the butt of the cigar, and essentially an amazing smoke. And this is what we're all chasing. We're approaching and we're understanding that humidity is lost from this point to the air, certain percentage to the binder leaf, and the aging process. The aging process is all dictated by how much humidity is present with the center of the cigar, and that is dictated by the manufacturers of the cigars and the breeders. The process that they take for the curing process, essentially when they also harvest their crop, where they obtain their filler leaves from, and the certain type of demographic have different flavor profiles because the leaves are composed differently. So to make this full circle, the temperature and the space that we keep any natural produce in has an effect on the aging process. What are the benefits of slow aging versus fast aging? And could we all obtain a flavor profile that we would have wanted in maybe 15 years of aging, just at half the time, so we can enjoy the smoke? So the aim here is to be in full control of the aging or the chemical process that ages the cigar, essentially. And we have to be able to control the parameters of the equation for the ultimate goal as to what we have. And those two parameters are, like I mentioned, the temperature and the humidity and the space around the cigar. That's why at Exterra Veritas, when we approach a design, we have the temperature and the humidity in mind, as I mentioned. If we look at the stock, we work out how much meters cubed of actual cigar volume and moisture content would be, and then we calculate the space that's given. So we can manipulate the space around the cigar for a larger space volume, giving the cigars more room to breathe and essentially giving the climate control system more of a safety buffer to maintain humidity and making the climate control system much more efficient. This is just some of the aspects I consider when it comes to designing custom cigar humidors. So I thought it would be only right that someone like us that design and build custom climate control spaces just for cigar preservation should talk about temperature and humidity. And now it's time to taste those amazing terpene profiles that have been created from this chemical process. When it comes to cigars, old is gold and time waits for nothing. What if we could experience those amazing profile terpenes that would have happened in year 12, after only at year 4 or year 5? by maintaining them and aging them correctly, well, that's where we come in. Exterra Veritas, the cigar humidor people. Happy smoking.